Hello and welcome. You're watching Greenwich Live Sessions. This is your host Umar Khan. I'm back with another show, another guest, and let me tell you something about our session today. For all those people who have a passion for banking, who wants to build a career in banking, who wants to know how it feels like and what the exposure is like when you work outside of Pakistan. Well, the guest I'm about to introduce is just about the right person who will guide you through all these things. And without any further delay, let me introduce my guest for today. I will tell his name in the end, but first, I have to mention all the wonderful things that he has been doing over the years. He is a proud alumni of Greenwich from the batch of 1995, where he did his bachelor's in marketing and he started his career in banking the same year with Citibank, then went on to work in regional roles with ANZ Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and Arab Bank. Covering GCC and Middle East, his main line of work was retail banking. Last year, he got interested in entrepreneurship. He is now a board member for Smartchoice.pk, a digital insurance business in Pakistan, and he also set up his own financial technology business. So we have got plenty more that we're going to explore during this session. So without any further delay, let us welcome Mr. Fahd Amjad. Welcome to the show, sir. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you very much, Umar. Hello, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having me, Umar. And first, I have to congratulate you for starting this fabulous initiative. I saw some of the earlier episodes, and I really thought that the way that you've kept and the audience engaged and kept it light and gotten the subject matter in a nice, positive spirit. Uh, that's what got me back here, back to my alumni, and sharing my story the best way I can.
It's a complete honor for me to have such words from you. All we try to do is just keep people positive. But sir, how is the situation at your end? Because we are struck by COVID-19. So how has work and life affected you?
Yeah, it's been more of, I mean, the same thing, I guess, what everybody is going through in the region and in the world. The only ray of hope is what's happened recently in New Zealand.
Yeah.
ओमान में ये है कि officially the lockdown is stopping tomorrow, so people are expected to go back to work. Some of the public places like malls, etc., वो अभी they're not fully 100% opening from tomorrow, but other than that, at least 50% of the workforce is back. Bank branches are opening from tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow is Sunday is a working day in GCC as opposed to Pakistan. So it's been people are trying to get things back on track or economy back on track. The number of cases are still on the up, so that's a bit concerning, especially for people with with families. They're still not sure whether to get back into it or just give it a few more weeks. And once your number of cases start dropping, तब आपको confidence आएगा कि हाँ whatever was done lockdown wise, government restrictions wise, things are now in control. So up until then, it's just if keeping our fingers crossed, just like I guess all of you back in Pakistan, and hoping for the best, staying home, staying safe.
Yeah, but the thing in Pakistan that people can't stay home. That's the thing. So we definitely need to spread awareness and make some, that kind of a thing, or maybe run a campaign on social media. Stay home hashtag Stay Home Challenge. Maybe then they'll follow it. So sir, we're so lucky to have you today. You have got decades of experience, especially when you talk about the banking sector, and you're a prime example for all the youngsters these days, and that is start early. When you're into your education, start then. So you started your career back in 1995. So please share us through your journey and how the little challenges that you face, the obstacles. Just talk us through your beautiful and inspirational journey.
Sure. You can cut me and ask me any questions during the way, because obviously it's a long journey. It started in 1995. But I'll take a trip back memory lane. It was 1995. I was in my final semester. तो उस वक्त I started looking for, what are the options, and obviously my uh, first passion was to get into banking. So I got just an opportunity by applying to many banks, an opportunity to work for an internship. It was like a 6 weeks internship at Citibank in a new department. उस वक्त credit cards पाकिस्तान में introduce हो रहे थे. So, they were still a very new concept, and Citibank was the first bank who had started the cards division. So I
Brilliant.
got that opportunity. Or usme, I still remember. I mean, it was you didn't really need much computer skills. MS DOS or Lotus were the only two solutions you needed to know. My job is in cards finance division, and I would first thing I would do is print emails through MS DOS and do a little bit of models on Lotus. These, of course, then they became Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Office. But at the time, I just kept my head down and I took that opportunity, and I started uh, meeting people within the cards division, and one thing led to another. Another department, they wanted to give me an extension, give me a job on contract. और उस वक्त ये था कि I was going in knowing that I'm not getting a permanent job. I'm going in as an intern and on a temporary contract, but I didn't have any qualms. I said कि यार अगर opportunity है तो let me just give it my best and see how things go.
Wow.
So I got that contract role for 2 3 months. Did quite well. Made a relationship with an assistant manager at the time. He moved to another bank, and he took me with him. And that was the first time. I mean, I think maybe 8 9 months into my job that I got a permanent job with a bank. उससे
Wow.
पहले वो 8 9 महीने जो थे वो contract पे थे. But at the time, it was a big deal, because for me, it was getting a permanent job was major. You could get a car loan, you could get other benefits and
Absolutely.
things like that. So Bank of America was my second job after Citi. I spent about a year and a half at Bank of America. My job was quite interesting now that I think about it. I was an anti-fraud officer. I mean, my job was to protect customers from cards fraud. And at that time, fraud काफी था cards में क्योंकि they were new in Pakistan. तो कार्ड नंबर लोग कहीं और यूज करते थे, इंटरनेट पे यूज करते थे. There'd be lots of disputes. Or Bank of America was a card processor for maybe 5 or 6 local banks in Pakistan. The local banks, jitne hain, none of them had this technology or this product. So Bank of America was giving it for all of them.
Mhm. I remember back, my father had a credit card of Bank of America. So yeah, it does bring back some memories. But over the years, what we have realized that people have found new ways to, have frauds in the credit card sectors, and not even credit cards, even through forward messages now. People have been very creative when it comes to fraud. So please continue with the journey.
Yeah, so it was the fraud has of course evolved along with the measures and the systems,
Right.
and they become more creative now. So उस वक्त my role was more anti-fraud, and I had to know all the regulations. मैं local banks कुछ staff की training भी करता था. तो वहाँ से then I got picked up by ANZ Greenwich, जो कि Citibank का competition में they were going to launch their own credit card business.
Absolutely.
And they had taken people from Citi, and some of the team who knew me from Citi, they got me in. And with ANZ Grindlays, I think then I sort of stuck with that bank for a good 10 years, and I had a proper career. ये शुरू के 2 3 साल I was finding my way. I was trying to figure out what I want. Salary भी थोड़ी सी मुझे jumps चाहिए थी because initially I was getting a very low salary. So
Definitely.
those 2 3 years I hustled, and I just tried to push myself up the corporate ladder quickly. And once I got to ANZ Grindlays, उसके बाद मुझे थोड़ा तसल्ली हुई कि अच्छा salary ठीक है. I'm on the right track, and the department is growing. And then from that moment onwards, if I look back, it was all about, जहाँ पे भी कोई ऐसा challenge होता था जहाँ, generally people would be afraid. I would, I always tried to volunteer and I tried to take that on. So, couple of examples. I mean, I was very well settled in Karachi. My, parents were here. Everything was. My friends were here. लेकिन एएनसी ग्रिंडेज में एक साल के बाद एक इस्लामाबाद में जॉब आई
Right.
और इट वाज अ कार्ड सेंटर मैनेजर जॉब फॉर इस्लामाबाद and it was 2 grades higher than my grade.
Oh wow,
So,
that's a
so
big jump.
yeah, that was a big jump. So I looked at the job and I thought, I can make it. He cares, I don't tick all the boxes, but let me give it a shot. So I applied for it. I got rejected, and then I went back to the head of business and head of HR, and I sort of negotiated my way into that role. And I ended up going to Islamabad for a couple of years, got my promotion.
Wow.
But that was an example कि अगर एक opportunity नजर आ रही है, even if you are not sure, just go for it, manifest it. You eventually, if it's good for you, if it's written for you, it will happen.
I'll take a very positive motivation and inspiration from this, that rule number one is, if you want success and if you want to grow in life, you have to come out of your comfort zone. That is rule number one. And you have to, what I learned from this initial conversation of ours is that you have to hang in there. You have to stay focused. Do not get demotivated if you start off with a low salary. You have to work. You have to struggle. Nobody is waiting for a bowl of gold and pearls and lots of things for you right after your degree. And you're a
Yeah.
pure inspiration. We do have audience with us, and we'll just take some quick few comments. And as I said, that we will go down the memory lane. So lots of old people and your teachers and your fellow mates will be with us. So let's see who our first comment is. Our honorable Madam Chancellor Seema Mughal is with us, and she says, Assalamu alaikum, Fahad. Well, you are one of our alumni on whom we are really proud of. Please keep in touch with Greenwich.
Walaikum Assalam. It brings backward memories. I hope you are well. Inshallah, next time I come to Karachi, so I will pay you a visit and pay Greenwich a visit as well.
Definitely. Okay, now I'll tell the name. Let's see if you can remember him or not. We have with us
Okay.
Mr. Jamil Ahmed. Does that ring a bell?
It definitely rings a bell, but I need to see his picture to
It is
remember
on the
him.
screen. It is on the screen, but
Ah,
definitely
yes.
in
Yeah.
25 years we changed a bit.
No, I absolutely remember his face. Yeah.
Right. So he writes, "Old is gold," and he also says, "He's Papa gives his regards to you." He says you were one of the best students, so that brings them some memories as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was, yes, my GPA I remember was around 3.2, 3.4 generally. So yeah,
Wow.
I did my best.
That's really positive. So now let's just talk about your journey that you carried on. Then you talk about moving to Islamabad, and then you took a leap that was outside of Pakistan. You got your opportunity in Lebanon, and then later on Jordan. So please share your the early obstacles, the challenges you faced, because moving out of Pakistan and the comfort with all our family and the environment we have, it's very difficult, and especially back 16 years back it was much more difficult. So please share your journey, how it was to move on out of Pakistan and adjust and get so much success like you did.
Sure. So Lebanon was initially, it was one of those opportunities. Jo I didn't know much about Lebanon except for the fact that it was a war zone for many years, and there was this ongoing war between Palestine, Israel, and Lebanon was right there somewhere in the middle. So I had to look it up on the map, and uh, of course, my mother was concerned कि ये कहाँ जा रहे हो war के area में, कोई और जगह नहीं मिली, why don't you try Dubai, etc. Um, but for me, it was if I am in the network with Standard Chartered by that time had acquired ANZ Greenlay's franchise in this region. So I was working with Standard Chartered, and for me it was, जो regional head था, I had told my interest of getting an opportunity to work outside Pakistan just for my exposure and for better career prospects. So he told me कि यार देखो ये it's a small setup, 3-4 branches. It's a we don't think we're going to grow it too much, but for you it would be a step out of Pakistan, and you'll get exposure. So I just trusted the process, and I said, if it's again the same story, having faith in God, and just going after the opportunity, I took it. And when I got to Lebanon, I think the pluses were कि आप जब मुल्क से बाहर जाते हो तो you get exposed to a different culture, you get exposed to a different history of people, and you start thinking beyond just your own life and your own country and your troubles, and you start comparing things कि यार ठीक है, हम लोग अगर इन चीज़ों में बुरे हैं तो हम इन चीज़ों में उनसे बेहतर हैं. अपॉर्चुनिटी अगर जिस तरह लेबनान में 4 मिलियन की पॉपुलेशन है, तो इकोनॉमी कैसे ग्रो करें, where will the growth come from?
Right.
Whereas in Pakistan, with that kind of population, there is so much room to grow the economy if we get the right sort of foundation and right blocks in. तो एक तो ये एक्सपोजर आपको मिलता है कल्चर हिस्ट्री नेशन का, विद अ डिफरेंट कंट्री. और challenges ये you have to be flexible. You cannot be in a different country, thinking with the kind of thinking that you've had when you're in your own country. वहां
Absolutely.
जाके अगर आपको एक्सपोजर जो मिल रहा है, तो you have to be open minded, you have to accept their culture, you have to perhaps go a step beyond accepting the culture and enjoying their culture with them, as make friends with them, and be part of their lives. If you are willing to do that, you will succeed personally and professionally. You won't feel कि आप you're not going to end up in Pakistani embassy every uh, Eid or every social event. ठीक है वो आप करें, लेकिन अपनी community के साथ साथ you have to also mix with the local culture of that country. So
Right.
that to me was the biggest
Yeah,
challenge.
and then you moved on to UAE, and that the ladder of success just keep coming, and with time you just kept growing, and then later in 2015, that was like the opportunity that you got, and you just climbed every ladder of success. So just like share it, because you started off from the first step, and mashallah, looking at your journey, it's complete inspiration for all the students and all our viewers that who wants to make it to the field, because the best example is the patience, and the zest for more and more, and you stick to your field. What we notice in today's days, in our youth these days, is they don't stay focused on one particular field. At the same time, they feel like they want to do this, they want to do that. They just want to keep moving very rapidly, very quickly, and in that battle they cannot gain anything, because they are half here, half there, and they're unable to get anything. So please share a bit of that as well, that what kept you so focused and determined to your field.
Just a couple of points. मैं अभी तक तो एक smooth sailing portion पे चल रहा था अपने career के, but I have some failures, and I will share those failures also, because in life, unless you fail, you don't get your energy, and your enthusiasm doesn't get renewed, and your learning sort of stops unless you fail. So it's okay if that happens. I'll tell you how it happened with me the first time.
Sure.
और दूसरा, जहाँ तक अपने हमारी यंगर जनरेशन का ताल्लुक है, उसमें I think the times that 15 years ago, that I was progressing through my career, that those times were different in the sense that we did not have so much information being thrown at us.
Wow.
Fake,
Right.
bad, good, whatever it is. बट अब यहाँ पे जो एक्सपोजर एक एवरेज individual has today is just crazy. It's very difficult for anyone to stay focused and to process all that information and have a clear vision of what they want and where they want to go. Even, I mean, for me as well, it's tough. And in these times, having all that experience behind me, I still find it tough to how to cut the unnecessary information out and create that focus. Um, some tips again, like we were talking about earlier, ek to TikTok ko please don't download it, get it off your your phone, and things like Facebook feeds and Insta feeds. Just be careful on who you follow. I mean, the people you follow, they in getting their information on your feed is not going to help. It's just going to make you more confused, and you will act less and you will think and consume more, which is not the right way to go.
Yeah, be
So
very careful. Be very careful when you choose your mentors, because later on, whoever you choose as your mentor, later on you will be a reflection of that mentor. So please, when you choose
yeah,
even your celebrity stars, or I just follow every person who's positive, who's productive, who has a vision, and I rather appreciate people who are proactive. Who are very creative, who thinks about things that aren't there, who thinks about creation, who thinks about opportunities. And I'm definitely going to skip on that. And after 25 years of successful banking career, you switched your field and you moved towards the tech side, and you became a board member of Smartchoice.pk. That is a digital insurance policy thing, and much more that we're going to explore about it. So, what made you switch your field, and what was the whole idea behind it?
okay. So entrepreneurship. I mean, that's basically where my first failure came from. 2006, 2007 I had moved from Lebanon to UAE and I was still in banking. In 2007, I left Standard Chartered in UAE and I tried to set up my own business along with with another company, which was mainly in financial technology sales.
Right.
Systems and solutions for banks and credit bureau and risk management side. But when I started that, I'm not going to blame the financial crisis, but the financial crisis was just growing. जो US का mortgage or subprime crisis आया था in 2007, and the whole world almost didn't collapse, but money markets really went down. So that was the time that I actually left banking and I tried setting up my business. And it didn't work. I mean, मैंने कोई 9-10 महीने उसमें लगाए and I put in a lot of effort. I learned a lot, but I couldn't make it work, and I had to get back into banking. तो ये एक मेरा 2007 में मुझे experience हुआ. But that I it just stayed with me. I somehow knew that entrepreneurship is the answer. It's basically, especially for developing countries like Pakistan, it's the key is in entrepreneurship. It's not in working for a large company or a large bank. I mean, I respect all those careers. By no means मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि आप नौकरी छोड़ दें, but
खासतौर
the
पे आजकल के हालात में।
हाँ, और खासकर आजकल के हालात में बिल्कुल नौकरी पकड़ के रखें. But entrepreneurship जो है, that is the answer for a longer term sustainable economy. और ये spirit जो है, ये हम I believe लोगों में होनी चाहिए, and risk taking की ability जो है, it has to be there. So I kept that flame inside me, and around 2 years back, I went back to school. I went to Wharton, and I did an executive education program on digital startups and venture capital. And I just thought, okay, if I want to get back into entrepreneurship again, I just need to refresh my skills a little bit. So I did that, and उसके साथ ही आई गॉट स्टार्टेड गेटिंग इन्वॉल्व विद Smartchoice.pk, क्योंकि ये एक ऐसी फील्ड थी जो मुझे नज़र आ रहा था कि पाकिस्तान में ये डिजिटल इंश्योरेंस और डिजिटल बैंकिंग जो है ये इट्स जस्ट स्टार्टिंग टू कम अप. And I had seen the success of these models in the US and in Europe and even in Asian some of the more developed markets. So, uh, I reached out to to the founder, to the CEO Septen, and I had a chat with him, and then one thing led to another. I ended up being an angel investor with the company and ending up on the board itself. And what they do is very simple. Yeah, it's basically they are trying to renew the faith of people in insurance. So when you want a motor insurance, life insurance or health insurance, आप उनकी website पे जाके you can make a comparison between, maybe I think he's now they are now integrated with all the top insurance companies, and you choose a policy, and there is an assisted sales team, like a call center telesales team that support you through the process. Or you can choose to purchase the policy online without any human involvement. And that kind of digital delivery of insurance products, that is, that was something, is still something new for Pakistan. कि आपको इंश्योरेंस के लिए वो जो ट्रेडिशनल मॉडल है कि आपके फोन पे इंश्योरेंस एजेंट का नंबर सेव हुआ हुआ है, आप उसको यू नो हर साल उसको सर्च करें, ढूंढ के कॉल करें, जब वो आपको कोट मिलेगा तो यू डोंट नो कि ये कोट अच्छा है या कहीं और से दूसरा कोट
फैज
लेना.
भाई, फैज भाई, इसमें एक मैं, क्योंकि जाहिर है मेरा एक अपना नेचर है, जो मेरे जहन में एक चीज क्लिक की है, मैं वो जरा शेयर करूं. ये जब इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी वाले, एक तो एडवांटेज मैं बताऊं Smartchoice.pk का क्या है कि आप इस चीज से बच जाएंगे अगर आप ऑनलाइन इंश्योरेंस खरीदते हैं. जैसे कोई इंश्योरेंस बेचने के लिए आपको आता है तो सबसे पहले आके आपसे बात ये करता है कि वैसे तो अल्लाह आपको लंबी उम्र दे, लेकिन किसी दिन अगर आप मर जाएं तो आपके घर वालों को ये मिले. वैसे तो आप बिल्कुल सलामत रहें, लेकिन किसी दिन आपका एक्सीडेंट हो जाए और आपकी टांग कट जाए तो आपकी फैमिली को, मतलब दुनिया की हर वो बुरी चीज. तो मेरे पास जब कोई ऐसा एजेंट फोन करता है और बोलता है, मतलब तो भाई आपने जब से मुझे फोन किया सिर्फ बदुआएं दी हैं कि मैं मर जाऊं, मेरी टांग कट जाए, मेरे साथ कुछ और हो जाए, मतलब कोई दुआई दे दो यार. तो अगर आप Smartchoice.pk का इंतखाब करेंगे, इफ यू चूज Smartchoice.pk, so you're going to stay away from all these kind of negativities. At least that's what I would say.
I agree. That's definitely, no one is going to be telling you on your face कि आपके अगर खुदा ना खास्ता 6 साल बाद आप गुजर जाते हैं तो क्या होगा. You will avoid those conversations. तो स्मार्ट चॉइस का ये डिजिटल इंश्योरेंस का प्लेटफॉर्म है, और देर अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह they're growing. I am now working with them to also see के बाहर, पाकिस्तान से बाहर किन मार्केट्स में हम उनको ग्रो कर, we can access other markets. और स्पेशली अब जहाँ पे पाकिस्तान में भी लोग, people are getting much more comfortable with everything digital, from buying groceries to buying medicines to talking to a doctor. Everything, they are, the behavior is changing and they're getting more trustworthy of digital change.
Yeah, especially this COVID times, force people to do so even more, because many people traditionally are not comfortable. But during these times, they were forced to switch to online. And I think it's very important, and this is the future. Even when we look at the televisions, even they have changed traditional televisions to, convenience watching, like, series like Netflix and smart TVs and everything. So
Yeah.
I think this COVID was like a blessing in disguise to update developing countries like Pakistan, to tell them the importance of this digital world and how well you can utilize it and how well you can maximize your things around you. So what do you think about it? That has COVID-19 increased the business of the whole digital world?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, now the numbers and publications have started coming out, and they're giving numbers. How much is the increase in digital commerce in the last couple of months? Now, ठीक है, it might be abnormal initially because इस वक्त तो everybody's in lockdown, but what we have to realize is कि जो झिझक थी लोगों में कि हम ऑनलाइन क्यों खरीदें, चीज मिलेगी नहीं मिलेगी, क्वालिटी ठीक होगी या नहीं होगी, वो जो झिझक है दैट हैज बीन टेकन आउट. सो इवन पोस्ट कोविड-19 डिजिटल कॉमर्स के नंबर जो हैं दे विल कंटिन्यू टू ग्रो एंड दे विल कंटिन्यू टू सस्टेन. और मेरा जो मेरी अपनी पोजीशनिंग भी, जो मैं टेक्नोलॉजी की कंपनी मैंने सेटअप की है, उसके
जी
उसके दो वर्टिकल्स हैं. एक तो इट्स रिलेटेड टू बैंकिंग टेक्नोलॉजी, but the other one is digital commerce. Or digital commerce, when I say digital commerce, then I would probably pass this message on to anyone who's watching also. Okay, digital commerce में भी एक पूरी value chain है. From
right
from having an e-commerce store, जो टेक्नोलॉजी साइड से कुछ टेम्पलेट्स हैं, शॉपिफाई, मैजेंटो एटसेट्रा, उसके ऊपर पाकिस्तान का टैलेंट इज सो स्ट्रॉन्ग दैट अगर आप सॉफ्टवेयर एक्सपोर्ट की बात करते हो फ्रीलांस में, तो पाकिस्तान इज अमंग्स द टॉप 3 in terms of technology talent. The amount of work they're doing, Pakistanis are doing remotely from Pakistan for US companies. They actually they are in top 3. So
mm,
ये डिजिटल कॉमर्स के स्टोर्स बनाने से स्टार्ट हो रहा है, मतलब फ्रॉम माय पर्सपेक्टिव द टेक्नोलॉजी साइड. Then it is about social media management and digital marketing. How do you get people, as traffic onto your store and onto your website? Again, that area needs, it has a lot of potential in Pakistan. Some very good companies in that space, servicing the Gulf, servicing the US markets. But right now, they are mainly run by people from only technology. बिजनेस की साइड के लोग जो हैं वो इसमें घबराते हैं या आए नहीं हैं, बिकॉज दे आर नॉट फेमिलियर विद JavaScript and Angular and .NET and these technologies. But you don't have to be. You
right
have to understand the business model कि यार बेचना किसको है और खरीदना किसने है और मार्जिन कितना है. That's at the end of the day, this is the business model. So
right
digital commerce has all of these things, from e-commerce store to digital marketing to logistics and delivery. And anyone watching, I mean, from a business background, my recommendation would be कि इस area को explore करें, because this is the future. Pakistan may be, how do we make it simple enough? How do we make things in Urdu? How do we make the user experience so simple कि 3 click में transaction खत्म हो? You know,
rightly said
these are the things that will make us go viral. Telcos have done a good job. 35 million की penetration उनकी है, with their phones and their communication lines. So they are a good case study for any other business to try and bring these products into Pakistan.
yes and
So
taking it to a lighter side, I'll second your thing when you spoke about the Pakistani talent and how good we are when it comes to tech. That the one of the most popular series of this time, Money Heist, even they used Pakistani techs and doctors for their technology and their brain experts. So taking it to a light side, that's the level of popularity, and that's how well people know that that in Pakistan there are tech geniuses. In Pakistan, there's so much that is positive about Pakistan, and it has to be portrayed that way abroad. So you also like I would also like to know about a bit more about your setup and the challenges you face, because it is very difficult, and you need a lot of courage to take the risk that where you're settled in a field for 25 years and suddenly you take a switch. It's not easy at all. So what were the main obstacles that you faced, and do you still hang on and stay by your decision that it was the right choice?
yes, absolutely. I mean, it's and you have to have faith. The challenge that you face is mainly a mental challenge, because
True.
mentally, when you are used to a nice juicy salary coming every month, uh, to say bye bye to that and saying, I'm gonna start something from zero, वो that is the biggest step. वो चीज आप you whichever way you try and prepare yourself, वो तब तक आपको hit नहीं करता जब तक आप you don't take the plunge.
True.
And once you do, of course, before that आपको थोड़ा सा preparation करनी होती है कि यार अगर मैं जिस तरह की भी मैं setup में जा रहा हूँ, do I have enough funds to sustain myself and the family for X number of, let's say, months, if there is no income? So there are some calculations to be made. There are some things to be comfortable कि आपकी anxiety level ये ना हो कि 2 महीने में आपको business खड़ा करना है वरना you don't have money to pay the bills. So there
True.
has to be a certain level of comfort financially, or वो comfort should not be based on luxury terms. They should be based on humble terms. कि यार, uh, we have to basically go by a certain amount. Now, along
Absolutely.
with that, business model का जो है, once you get in, it's a very evolving sort of thing. It really depends कि अगर आप retail business में जा रहे हैं या आप corporate enterprise business में जा रहे हैं, sometimes आपको you will have to pivot your original thoughts and your model based on circumstances, based on client needs. So you have to stay very very flexible and very vigilant of a number of things, from कि मार्केट साइज कितना है, स्केल हो सकता है नहीं हो सकता, कैपिटल कितना जाएगा, इनिशियली the right way to go in is capital minimum investor, especially for younger people, क्योंकि entrepreneurship में ये नहीं है कि आपने शोरूम बड़ा ले लिया, उसमें आपने 40 गाड़ियां खड़ी कर दी एंड कहा कि दिस इज entrepreneurship. That's a very heavy capital business. So there are a number of things. I mean, it's the challenge is, of course, for you to put all of these things in the right place in your head and say, okay, there will be uncertainty, but you have to have faith. And the key is that you will continue to knock on doors and open doors, and there will be signs and there will be a way, and you will find your path. And
Definitely.
you keep
One,
going for it with that faith, and then you'll get there.
yes, and one should keep their eyes open for the opening of doors, because if you keep looking at one door, there are lots of opportunities that are going to open from your right and left. But if you keep staring at one door, you will never be able to capitalize onto those opportunities. So the first rule is you have to learn how to take risk. You have to learn to get out of your comfort zone. You have to have the zest to want more, because as Fahd Bhai said that if you want to grow in life, even if you have a juicy salary, it will always be limited. But if you're into entrepreneurship, the gains are unlimited. As much as you grow and as much as you invest and as much as you are focused into it, the gains can be unlimited. And we've got so many examples. Like if you talk about the richest people in the world, they're all entrepreneurs. So no one ever, and especially when we talk about these days, have created a fortune out of jobs. So it's not bad to have a job, it is good, but also learn to grow in life and also choose the entrepreneurial side. So indeed, it was a pleasure to have you, sir. And as much as I'm loving the conversation, we're running out of time, and with a very heavy heart, I have to end this. But before we leave, let's go back to your Greenwich student days. So, any bells click when we talk about your student life? And as we heard, you were a brilliant student. You had a GPA, a consistent GPA of 3.2 plus. So, how are you like back in your school days? If you remember any teachers or any fellow students?
Well, I mean, we do have a WhatsApp group of my batch, so I'm very much in touch with my colleagues. I'm SB11, so that's I think we were probably the first or the second batch in the Greenwich campus, in this campus in Raksha, in behind CBO. उससे पहले कैंपस का की लोकेशन was somewhere else. तो
Right.
अपने with my colleagues from the time I'm very much in touch. A lot of them are in the US actually. In fact, उनको मैंने अपना ये the advertisement, I sent it to them, and I told them, yeah, you should also get in touch with Umar and the management team at Greenwich, and see if you should share your stories as well, because some of them have done well, and they're happy where they are, although in lockdown, but still, career wise they've done well. Um,
Absolutely.
और बाकी अपना जो memories, it's a long time back. It's a 25 year back journey, but at the time, we used to play cricket. We had roadside cricket. So you
Mhm.
told me you played national level. So we were obviously amateurish. So we would find our place and play cricket in the parking area. Our hangout was, there was a canteen called Tikala. So we,
Mhm.
in fact, अभी भी हमारा जो WhatsApp group है उसका हमने नाम टिकाला ही रखा हुआ है from
क्या
those times. And yeah, some fond memories, because a lot of us were from different backgrounds, and Greenwich was also new. From the teachers, I'm sure a lot of the teachers are no longer there, but I know Shoaib Shamsi, he's still associated with Greenwich in some shape or form. उस वक्त Mrs. Almas Harun होती थी, Rahat Munir, but these are, I know that they're no longer in the faculty anymore. But some fond memories, and of course whenever we get a chance, we will pay respects.
Definitely, and indeed, when we talk about the old memories, so I can see the smile and the glow on your face, because you're back 25 years. So, how was your experience here at live sessions, and what would you like to say on that?
I think it was great. It was very very casual. I felt that our conversation was more like we're sitting in a lounge and having a cup of tea and chit chatting. So that's very good. That's actually a compliment to you, Umar, and I hope you keep it light the same way.
Hmm.
I'm happy and grateful for, of course, Ganesh and yourself, for me to be able to share this information about myself, having any sort of inspiration, um, uh, any impact. Or I'll be happy to stay in touch, share my email address. Anyone from the Greenwich alum is happy. I'll be happy to answer any questions,
Definitely.
advice, anything they need. I'm available.
Absolutely. And that is why we call ourselves Greenwich family, that we are far and wide in different parts of the world and everyone's successful and we're all there to help each other. So I think that's the whole beautiful thing. And thank you so much for taking our time. Indeed, it was a very fruitful and informative session. We learned a lot. It was quite inspirational, and it was completely a pleasure. And talking about these sessions, the whole idea is that we're in a lockdown situation where we have to keep social distancing, but it doesn't stop us from socializing. So these are the sessions where we socialize every day. We're all together and spending time, the entire Greenwich family, the faculty, the alumni, the students. We get together, we share memories, we share experiences, and just trying to stay positive and productive during this testing times.
Well, I wish you all the best. I think it's a great initiative. Keep that up, and say, what I say to my friends is that, say no to social distancing. Say yes to social distancing, but no to physical distancing. So the other
Absolutely.
way around. Yeah.
Exactly, and that is some piece of advice. So thank you so much for your time. We'll definitely stay in touch again. So you heard Mr. Fahd, and beautiful things he had to share. His decades of experience when it comes to banking, and such an inspirational story where he shared how he moved towards the entrepreneurship and the entrepreneurial side after 25 years into the banking sector. That is purely that gives us the example that even if you're comfortable with your life, even if you have all the luxuries, even if you are successful in your field, and there's something you still is missing, and you have that courage to take that risk, to take that step that can give you even open and widen your horizons even more when it comes to life and your career. So this was our session for today. I hope it was informative and enjoyable for you. And definitely we'll be back tomorrow with another session. You can always give us your feedback, in which you can always share with us what kind of sessions you want to see in the future, and who should we invite for our future sessions. So this was all for today. Till next time, stay safe, stay positive, keep smiling, and Pakistan Zindabad.